Coming from David Noonan Field here at Hillsborough High School in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Hello, everybody. It's the Hillsborough Raiders taking on the Westfield Blue Devils. I'm Tom Wilkins, Ray Storego, Howard Gable with the controls. What we're going to do first, I believe, is we will have our national anthem before we do anything here, but we're going to do something a little different. We are going to mic up the Pride of Hillsborough Raider marching band under the direction of Jules Heron and Nick Clipperton. We're trying to sort a couple of things out real quick, and then we will have it for you and get a chance to listen to these wonderful individuals. So give us one moment with that.
And fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise if able, remove your caps, and turn your direction to the flagpole near the Raiders locker room as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Pride of Hillsborough Raider Marching Band.
Okay, I think we got everything all set up. That's our national anthem performed by the Pride of Hillsborough Raider Marching Band under the direction of Jules Heron and Nick Clipperton. Thanks for joining us here on this lovely Friday evening. Again, I'm Tom Wilkins along with Ray Storego. Howard Gaber taking care of the controls as usual. Westfield in the final regular season game with Hillsborough. Should be a fun one here as we're going to have the coin toss in the middle of the field, directed by head referee Dave Race. And you'll be able to hear exactly what goes on between the two squads.
Number 73, Captain for the Raiders, number 5, Jonathan Lamar. Number 21, Nicholas Sabara. Number 19, Daniel Allen. And number 89, Jordy
Good luck on both teams to this contest. So tails for heads. Tails, heads, call it loud once a year. I'm going to let it hit the ground. Okay, keep the ball on the field. Tails, go loud in the air. Tails, tails. So this is tails. You have one. For her. White has one and deferred. You want the ball, which way you want the people to sit? Like, put your backs here, or put your backs right here, put your backs here. Hillsborough will be receiving. God, shake hands.
All right, so there you have it. Westfield wins the toss. They'll choose in the second half, and Hillsborough will get it first. Now we can bring Ray in as this is going to be an exciting regular season finale between these two.
Yeah, it should be a great game between these two. Westfield, it looks like they're coming in at about 3-4 on the season. They've won a couple of nice ball games. They do score points, so kind of looking forward to this. Max Cho behind center for Westfield. When I looked out at the stats and I see 7 TDs, 1 interception, that's kind of what I like if I'm a coach.
Well,
don't turn the ball over. Play it close to the best.
And I totally agree. Turnovers are going to be a big key in this contest. Westfield, of course, last week coming off a 34-15 loss to Ridge High School. Hillsborough, of course, winners of 4 straight. They won a tough one against Somerville right here at this field last Friday by a count of 14-7. Although Hillsborough has won 4 in a row, they have had 5 straight games. As you can see us in the northwest part of your screen. Ray, have you noticed?
Oh, hey, here we are. Yeah, hi, Mom, Dad.
Yeah, we're trying to get ourselves set with the volume here as we're about ready to get underway. Hillsborough has not scored 20 points in 5 consecutive games, so I think it's important for them to get some points on the board early, as Hillsborough will get the ball first. They'll go left to right, Westfield right to left, and we'll switch sides during the second quarter. So head referee Dave Race about to blow his whistle. And we are underway here in Hillsborough, and I think he kicked it to Jankowicz.
He did.
You're asking for it if that's the case.
Well.
But good special teams that time kept them from getting to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Tom, and we both know once you stop, it's over, right?
Well, that's usually what happens. Usually what Jackson will do, he will come to a cut stop in a reverse direction and half the opposing team falls down. But talk about good job on the Westfield special team side. They stayed in their lane.
No reverse direction there, absolutely not.
And obviously nowhere to go here. All right, so Hillsborough under the tutelage of junior quarterback Alex Rowling, who was 7 of 9 last week. Threw a big touchdown pass that decided the game in the third quarter. Takes 1st and 10. Now he's going to roll right and lob one. That pass is caught, being thrown down at about the 25-yard line. And Ozukbor was able to make the grab, and a good start for Hillsborough. Good stop by Shepard on the tackle. Shepard, I'm sorry. But it's a gain of about close to 8. So you're looking at 2nd and a long 2 coming up. And they'll go with the 4 receiver set, tripling the left side as they will show that a lot. Here's a handoff up the middle. That should move the chains down to the 29-yard line. Jankowicz with the carry. He ran for over 140 yards last week, and that's going to be one of the keys for Westfield if they're going to have a shot in this game.
Yeah, no doubt. A quality back. He's the guy you got to stop. You're going to have to make Hillsborough throw the ball if you're going to have a chance tonight. Got to shut that running game down, or at least under control, no doubt. 1st and 10. Raiders.
All right, so 1st and 10. There's a ball spotted the 29-yard line. Rowling ends up handing it off, and only about a yard, maybe 2, to the 31-yard line. So Montez with the stop. A 2-yard pickup to the 31-yard line, and now force a 2nd and 8. Ray will be back with us momentarily. But I'll tell you one thing for Hillsborough, you're going to see this a lot. If you're new to this, to watching this high school broadcast, you'll see a lot of spread, a lot of 4 receiver sets, tripling one side or the other. Here they do spread out here on 2nd and 8, as Rowling will take the snap, will throw to his right, and the pass a little bit wide. It was intended for Santiago, incomplete. Santiago was the one who made the game-winning catch in the third quarter of that game against Somerville last week. Del Rey was in coverage there, and hi, Mom. It's 3rd and 8 from the 31-yard line. So Hillsborough looking to finish the regular season 8-1 as the opening drive of the game, nearly 2 minutes in. And it looks like they're going to spread out again. Actually, they look like they're going in an empty gun, going heavy left. So Rowling by his lonesome on 3rd and 8 from the 31-yard line, takes the snap, has a pocket pass, is caught by Jankowicz. He's going to be short of a 1st down. Took a pretty hard hit. And they're going to say it about the 35. So it's a 4-yard pickup, and outside of 1 1st down, it looks like Hillsborough is going to punt on 4th down. Now, Hillsborough does have a little bit of revenge in this game because last year these same 2 teams played in Westfield, and Westfield won that game 17-12. There's a little bit of an oddity in the history of this short rivalry between the 2 teams I'll mention a little bit earlier. Westfield won that game 17-12 last year to end the regular season. And now they are going to get Shane Powell to punt. He's the one standing outside, but the way this is lined up, you never know. But it is going to be a punt. The rush is on, and it's a good kick. Takes a Hillsborough bounce. It goes out of bounds, close to the 30-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. Right at the 30. So that's a nice punt, 35. That's a 35-yard punt as Ray's back with us. So opening drive, you got to be impressed with what Westfield has done.
Well, that's kind of what you have to do. You don't want to certainly be behind the sticks early in the game like that. So it is a big stop and kind of keeps them right in this thing. Let's see what they can do on offense.
Westfield's quarterback is Max Chow, the senior, who has had a pretty nice year rushing and passing. He does pretty well passing, thrown for 927 yards and 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and he's also run for 4 touchdowns this year. Here's a handoff, but Hillsborough is right there waiting for a couple-yard loss there. And Labello leads the charge. I mean, Labello had a little bit of a, excuse me, Labello had a nice charge to begin there, Ray.
Roebuck was in there too as well, 73. Nice job in the backfield. Couple of yard loss. Second 11 is not quite what they're looking for, but let's see what they do on this.
That's a 2-yard loss. So back into 28. It is second down, and Cho is back. He's going to roll right and fire. Nice pass at the sticks. It's going to be a first down at about the 43-yard line. Gain of 15 on the play. Yes, that would be Sebastian Magarini, who made the grab. 15-yard pickup and a first down. Nick Santa Barbara with the stop. And that's one person you got to watch out for in Magarini. He has a touchdown reception. He's caught now over 200 yards in the season.
Yeah, nice job rolling to his right. Found a man out in the flat. First down.
All right, so 1st and 10 as the ball is at the 44-yard line. Showing the shotgun. They're going to go run pass option, and the handoff only goes to about the 46. So a 2-yard pickup there. That was Caramango with the carry there for a couple yards.
Yeah, Garrett Meyer in on the tackle. Nice job. Fights off the block. Makes a nice play.
Yeah, Meyer obviously going to assume some more responsibilities, him being a junior next year, and he's going to be one of the key leaders for this Hillsborough defense, whom really they have been mostly superb, especially the last couple of years, and they've been relying more on the defense this year to win games, and such was the case last week. So 2nd and 8 as Cho is standing in a shotgun. Another one of those options going to about the 48-yard line. Looks like that's Aramango again.
Yeah, Van Cleef in there on the tackle. Couple of yard gain. Third manageable.
Well, it's 3rd and 6, and that's going to be interesting because you just don't know what Westfield is going to throw at you, and you can run or pass the ball. I would suspect they would pass a little bit more. This is their opening drive. Hillsborough got a first down, then had to punt. Let's see what Cho does here on 3rd down. He go 3-wide slot right here. And the back goes to the left of Cho.
Watch 17 Ferrero out there.
Back to pass. He's being chased, has to dump it off, and I don't think he ever got out of the pocket.
I don't think he did either, but
we'll see if they call an intentional grounding foul. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see what the official says.
No yellow so far, Tom. Looks like we're okay.
All right, well, so no harm, no foul. It is incomplete. So it is 4th down. And so it'll be a punt, staying about the 35-yard line. Let's see if they go directional here.
That's what I would do.
Taking the snap, no rush this time.
And they do.
And it is directed toward the near side,
Yeah,
the
off the
far
side of his foot,
sideline.
it looked like, Tom.
I think so. We'll see where the official spots it.
He's going to walk that one up just a bit for sure. Maybe about the 40-yard line.
They're going to say the 37, maybe the 36. So that's where Hillsborough will begin 1st and 10. Not much of a punt of 16 yards, but Hillsborough with a first down, their opening drive. Same thing for Westfield. Now that both teams have felt each other out, what do you expect Hillsborough to do?
Well, you kind of like, it's early in a boxing match, right? You're not showing much first or second drive. Most of these plays for each team to be the first 10 or 15 are kind of all scripted. So we'll see what they have on rack number 2 for the Red Raiders.
And they're going to hand this one off on the opening play. It's going to be a couple of yards, maybe getting to about the 39, so about a 2-3 yard gain that time as Jankowicz was able to go up the middle.
Yeah, that student body there to run into that one. Not much push on the offensive line on that. Looking at a 2nd and long.
Ray, you're probably going to expect a little bit more of a Shane Powell, who will probably be the bruiser back to kind of weaken the Westfield defense, especially when you get later in the game. That's when Jankowicz shines and has his big plays.
Well, as the defense wears down, that's what you look for. It's all about fourth quarter.
All right, so they tripled the near side here on 2nd and 7. They're going to give it to Jankowicz anyway, who slips out of a tackle, continues forward, and dives his way to the 44. That's a 5-yard pickup. So 3rd and 3 coming up, and I expect Hillsborough to possibly do the same thing.
Yeah, it's a nice tackle in there by 73. Again, we've talked about him a couple of times. He's done a nice job. Third and relatively short.
And Jankowicz, of course, 144 yards last week. He has 745 yards for the season, and he does have 7 rushing touchdowns. Of course, he's had a couple electrifying ones this year on this home turf. So here we go with 3rd and 3. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line. Let's see what Rowling does. He's under center as a single back. They might be showing blitz here. Back to pass. Oh, they pick it up nicely.
Yeah,
now rolling out and firing, and a nice catch and a first down. Good grab by a Zukbor, if I can ever pronounce the name right. Hillsborough gets into Westfield territory and gets a first down.
Well, I'll just let you take that name from now on, Tom. I get the same problem as you do. So, yeah, nice first down there. Rolled out a little bit. They showed blitz. They kind of backed off, went coverage, and first down for Hillsborough.
And a nicely done play. That was a gain of 12. So Hillsborough at the Westfield 44-yard line, a little more than halfway through the opening quarter. They're going to send a triple now on the far side. Jankowitz to the left of Rowling. See what Westfield dials up. Another run it is.
Nice
and Jankowitz slips through a hole and gets to about the 37. He took a little bit of a shot at the end, but he was able to get a good gain on the play.
Is that Korsba there on the tackle?
I think it was Shepard. I think Shepard was the one who made the tackle.
Okay.
But still a 7-yard gain. We have 2nd and 3 as they spot the ball at the 37-yard line.
Nice little crack there at the line of scrimmage.
Looks like they're changing the formation a little bit.
Sure, you have 2-back set.
And Rowling drops the snap, and he has the fall on it at the 47. That's a big loss on the play, nearly 10. But, again, ball security is so important. When this happens, that can completely mess up drives.
Yeah, they're drive killers in a way. Let's see if they can bounce back on that 3rd and about 12.
Well, they're going to spot the ball at the 47-yard line of Westfield. So you're looking at 3rd and 13 at this point. It was 2nd and 3, and now you're pretty much in a passing down here.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Looking to the sideline for a signal. Let's see. Clock is rolling.
Well, Kevin Carty Jr., he tends to wait a little bit before making the signal. I'm sure he's as aware as to how much time is left on the play clock, which is kept on the field. But they'll go spread here on 3rd and 13. Here's Rowling with the snap. Looking, he's going to throw right. And the pass just out of the reach, incomplete. They went for a James Rowe, the senior, and he couldn't come down with it, and Hillsborough have to punt.
Not sure if that was sort of a back shoulder pass. I don't think it was meant to be, but that's what it turned out to be.
Well, if you want a back shoulder catch, ask Cole Beasley from a few years ago. But that's a hard catch.
Well, we'll give him a call and see if we can catch up with him.
Anyway,
he's got some time on his hands.
Hillsborough will punt, and Powell once again will be the one punting, and we'll see if a rush comes on again. There is a rush. He gets it off, and it's going to go bouncing. I think he was going to get inside the 20, and Powell did exactly that. So Powell was able to get down to about the 17-yard line. So a 30-yard punt, mission accomplished.
Yeah, you love those directional kicks when they work. When you shank them, of course, you're already directional, so you're in a bad spot. But that's what you want. You know, you really want to limit special teams on each side is what I always like to do. I don't like special teams to beat me because that's when you're spread out like that on a return. Your athletes can get the ball. The difference makers make a big difference in the open field. So you really want to limit that on both sides.
Not only staying in your lane, but also providing the speed to cut down the angle there too. So here's Cho on 1st and 10.
First pass.
He's going to pass. He'll throw right side a little bit high, but a flag down. Pass was incomplete. It was intended for Sebastian Magarini, but there may have been interference. We'll see what the official says.
Yeah, it sure looks that way.
We'll find out from head referee Dave Race.
15.
15 it is.
Pass interference. On the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
All right, so first down after the pass interference penalty of 15 yards. The rest of the staff, the umpire, Eric Zorbian. The head linesman is Gary Rooks. The line judge is Jim Capora. The side judge is Carmen LaCanta. And the field judge is John Gallagher. Helping the clock today, Chip McFadden. Well, do forgive me with some of the chopped pronunciations, but that's partially my handwriting.
Yeah, and the handwriting on the page, that doesn't help either.
It's a unique style. Here's a handoff. Oh, look at that. Beautiful read.
That's a great
forcing
job.
a loss. Labello rings the bell.
Boy, he just shoots that gap right in there, doesn't he?
Caramagno, the senior, ends up losing 3 yards on the play.
That's a beauty. We have replays tonight, Howard, do we? Oh, good. Thank you. Okay.
Well, we'll eventually get to him. And of course,
No huddle offense, it's hard to do that, yeah.
well, we saw a lot of that, especially in a couple, let's just say a couple of, yeah, there'll be a couple of sponsors, of course, to go with it. Here on second down, the pass is caught and going out of bounds. Stepping out is at the 37-yard line. That would be Luke Spade, the sophomore, who came in with that. He is one of the key players here because Spade came into this game with 12 catches for 118 yards. He does have a touchdown this year. So,
and we can definitely call a spade, can't we?
well, let's see if we can ace this 3rd and 8. Here's Cho backfiring,
nice job.
pass caught, but Hillsborough's defense is right there for minimal yardage. Pass ends up being caught by Magarini, only for a couple of yards, and I think it's going to be punting time again for Westfield.
Yeah, but Tom, that was a really nicely run play. He cuts it inside instead of outside. I think if he goes out, he gets the first down because he had that first block that he needed. He kind of came back into the defense on that.
All right, so Westfield will punt. Looks like 85, who we don't have on the list. He will be the one standing about the 25-yard line. Takes the snap. They're coming this time, and a little bit of a better punt.
Yep.
As it'll bounce and take a nice roll for Westfield, and it goes out of bounds. They're going to say about the 38-yard line, so that's where Hillsborough will start, 1st and 10. So this will be a little bit of a defensive struggle in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, neither offense can really get anything cooking. Hillsborough kind of shot themselves in the foot on the last drive with the mishandled snap or mishandled
the fumbled
handoff.
snap.
Had a fumbled snap or a fumbled handoff, I guess you could call it. And all right, well, here we go. Nice, good ball game so far. If you like defense, this is your game.
Hey, we had defense last week. So we're down to a minute 55 left in the first. They're going to triple the right side here on 1st and 10. Ball to 38. Riling will take it, and then inside handoff it is. Speeding around. Look out. There he goes. 40, 30, and what a nice tackle. Sliding safely.
Wow.
And that is Andrew Schwartz, a sophomore, who showed lightning quick speed there. That's the biggest play for either side in this game and a first down.
Give it to Steven Shorba down there. He saved the touchdown. When you go trips right, you've got everybody coming this way. And they just go back against the grain to the other side where there's only one guy, and he's taking his guy deep. So that's a well-run play.
So the ball at the 30-yard line, a gain of 32 there on 1st and 10. Here's Rowling, and he fires that one right into the hands of Santiago, who will push his way to about the 25, and that's about it. So a gain of 5 as Santiago moves the pile.
And that's really good strength there because it's not like he had 2 or 3 other white shirts helping him. He was out there by himself. He got that all on his own against about 4 or 5 players from Westfield.
Chorba was able to make the stop, but not before about 5-yard pickup. So 2nd and 5 as Riling has a triple on the left side here. And here's a swing to the right. But unfortunately running into a big wall of white for maybe a yard. Once again, it's Schwartz, the sophomore, who's only able to get a yard on the play.
Now, that's what happens when you stay home on something like that. Again, they went trips to the top of your screen, nobody right, and basically tried to run the same thing to the opposite direction. A nice job by Westfield. Brings up about a 3rd and 4 or 5 as we tick down the end of the quarter.
Yeah, about a yard on that one. 3rd and 4 from the 24-yard line. They'll line the triple on the left side this time, and Schwartz lines up to the left of Riling. Let's see what they do. Takes the snap. Oh, the handoff, and it was a little bit slow developing, and Westfield read it.
If I'm Westfield, I'm doing exactly that. I'm playing run for sure, no doubt. 5 and 82 in there for Westfield. Chris Rossetti. And if we turn the page over to the other side.
Yeah, Lincoln Myers, the junior, also helped with the stop. So
you're probably 4-down territory here. You're certainly not going to punt.
Well, we're going to find out when we come back as we have hit quarter time here in Hillsborough. Scoreless game between Westfield and the Raiders. We'll come back with quarter number 2 right after this.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
All right, here we are, quarter number 2, about to start here from Hillsborough High School and David Noonan Field. Hillsborough facing a 4th and 5 from the 25-yard line. By the way, the cast of characters today, I'm Tom Wilkins. Ray Storego with me, Howard Gaber on the controls as usual. And Chris Fox will bring us some score updates in a little bit.
Nice.
So we'll keep an eye on that.
4th down we going.
Yes, indeed. Here we go on 4th and 5 from the 25-yard line. They send a man in motion, is riling back the pass, late rush. He may call his own number. He is. Will he turn the corner? He cannot, and he is stopped short by a couple of yards. So the stop was made by Luke Jordan, and Luke, who's a senior defensive back, tremendous read there. Hillsborough turns the ball over on downs.
Yeah, that was fortunate, unfortunate for Hillsborough. They ran Chimmy out there, number 7, on the left side. He fell down as he was crisscrossing with another receiver, and that kind of blew up the play.
Well, let's also not forget, Ray, there was a passing shower that came through about an hour and a half before game time. So the turf conditions, the field conditions, may have a little something to do with the slow start. Here's a handoff along the right side, trying to cut and not cutting too far. And that run by Caramagno, he gets stopped by Powell that time, and no gain on the play.
Yeah, Caramanger's their main cog. He's got 600 yards on the season and 5 touchdowns, so you're going to hear a lot of him tonight.
So they'll spot at the 24, no gain. It is 2nd and 10. So this has been a defensive struggle, a quarter and a mid into this one.
Haven't seen Cho keep the ball yet today, Tom.
Well, you might get your wish, but we'll see what happens.
It's
They'll
not a
line
wish,
up
just,
3 wide. They'll line up 3 wide slot right, and he doesn't keep it. He does hand it off, and Hillsborough is right there waiting.
Sure are.
At the 26-yard line again, Caramagno again. So for Cho, I just wanted to mention, Cho, he has run for 115 yards coming into this game, and out of his 19 carries, 4 of them were for touchdowns. So that's something to watch. Watch later on if Westfield gets in the red zone. So here we go. Crowd getting into it on 3rd and 7. Man in motion to the left as Cho takes it, looks, fires at the middle
boy.
to nobody.
Yep.
Incomplete, and then what's this? A flag goes down, and the football went all the way to the other side. And it's pass interference against Hillsborough.
It is.
Previous spot, right? Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'll explain what happened.
Pass interference.
Pass
On the
interference
defense.
on the defense.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Second time today that Hillsborough's been hit with pass interference. Remember, it's all MAC 15 yards. It's not a spot foul.
You know, that's a little bit of a tough one. It almost kind of looked like the receiver ran right into the defender. One of those plays.
All right, well, it's possible it could be incidental contact, but maybe the official saw something that we didn't. So 1st and 10 now from the 42-yard line. As Cho will take the snap. He'll fire right. Pass caught, and the tight end catches that one at about the 49-yard line. That is, it's actually Colin Coyle. Bavaro wore 89 last time I checked, but Colin's a junior. He made a nice catch there for about a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, it was a well-run play. You just run the tight end out in the flat. You got 3 receivers over there, so you have a couple of choices. I've noticed each team is rolling their quarterback to a side with at least 2 or 3 different options. Kind of easier to see the field when you're only looking at a half of it. But that was well done for about a gain of 7.
Nose of the ball at the midfield stripe, so it's 2nd and about 2 as Cho will take the snap. And now a handoff up the middle for a first down once again. Caramango.
Caramango just got a little bit of a seam. Nice play.
So he moves
First down Westfield.
and LaBella with the stop there. So it's a first down for Westfield as they get into Hillsborough Terrian.
Yeah, back-to-back first downs, probably first time today.
Well, yeah,
Well
considering they got help on the first one by way of a penalty, and usually it's that can build drives and eventually lead to scores. All right, so 1st and 10 for the 45-yard line. Here's Cho back on a short drop. Pass is caught inside the 40, 38, maybe the 37-yard line. And looked like a tackle that time was made by Azukbar. And the catch by Ferrero. We forgot to mention about him.
Tell me, why do we have the guy that makes all the plays on the toughest name on the board? Why does that always happen?
Incidentally, in
and
case
he's going to be everywhere today. You know that, right? Every other play, it's going to be him.
Well, Ferrero, he leads the team in receiving by a lot. And I believe that was the first time I went to him today. Here on second down, Caramango tries to bounce outside and gets close to a first down, maybe about 3.
He's a little bit short, but that was a really nice play to bounce that to the right.
Yeah, he did a good job, but Hillsborough did a good job closing the thing as well. But as far as Ferrero is concerned, he came into this game 20 catches for 443 yards, and out of the 20 catches, 5 were for scores.
Yeah,
so you look,
not a
so
bad
you look,
average, right?
So you're looking at 3rd and a yard, about the 36-yard line as we approach 8 minutes till halftime, and nothing's happened yet.
So 3 more catches, he should be in the end zone, right? 1 out of 4.
Well, we'll see what Hillsborough has to say about it. Here's a play fake and a fire, and the pass is caught nicely for a first down. And once again, that tight end we were talking about, Colin Coyle, able to make the grab. Van Cleef with the stop, but it moves the chains for the Blue Devils as they have 1st and 10 as they spot at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, nice throw, nice catch. And you know what? He was covered on that play. Just a little bit better throw. Put it right where it needed to be.
Westfield may have a 3-4 record, but they sure are not playing like it right now. Putting together a good drive here as they're going to triple the left side here on 1st and 10. Here's a pass and a slant catch about the 25, maybe the 23-yard line. And that was Ferrero again. We just mentioned him a moment ago.
Yep, looks like a 21 Santa Barbara on the tackle.
So a 7-yard pickup, and that makes it 2nd and 3.
Yeah, you know what, Tom? They're playing way off the outside receivers. That's the second time a guy catches the ball with about 5 yards of space because his defenders is playing off about 10 yards. So that's kind of an easy throw and catch.
And Hillsborough on their heels a little bit here as Cho with 2nd and about 3. A delayed handoff, and Caramango bounces his way to about the 22, maybe the 21. And Meyer was the one with the stop there, so now it's only for about a yard and a half. So here you go, 3rd and 2 for Westfield. What defense do you call for Hillsborough?
You stay in what you're on. I think if you're going to man up with these guys, you got to bump and run on these guys. You can't give them space in between because they'll just take the short throw again. You notice 21 on the top side, how close he is now. He was back up another 5 yards on the couple of throws that they made.
Another 3-wide slot right this time as Cho takes a snap. Looking back, he's going to fire far side, and that one is incomplete. Man. He went in the direction of Ferrero, but he just couldn't come up with it. That was a nice play call, though.
And you know, Tom, I love those man-to-man situations where the defender doesn't have any chance to look back because the receiver knows where it's going, and that was kind of almost back shoulder. I thought he was going to haul that in. That was a nice play. And obviously 4-down territory for sure here.
Well, they don't have a kicker that can make a 40-yarder, I would suspect. So here we go, 4th and 2. In the shotgun is Chow. They go with a handle. Not going to happen! Wow. The freight train known as LaBello says, N-O, will take the ball back.
And you know what's funny, Tom? I saw a little hole to the left, and man, did that hole close quickly. I thought he had that. All of a sudden, LaBello comes out of nowhere. That's a great play.
So this is as even if, why don't we take a look at the replay and see how quickly LaBello got in to close the hole in the middle.
See, watch him top screen. There he goes. Bang. Wow.
And Caramango just got mangled on that play.
Wow.
All right, on first. Yeah, it's 1st and 10. Here's a handoff. And getting to about the 33-yard line. That's a nice run.
Yeah, 40. DiMattina makes the tackle for Westfield. Nice job. Good enough for a first.
Yep. Moves the chains right off the bat. To say how even this game has been, there have been 2 punts and a turnover on downs on each side. But Hillsborough has had the only 2 penalties in this game so far. All right, so 1st and 10 is Hillsborough. Will send a triple to the right side.
Watch him coming back this way, Tom.
Rowling, well, they do hand it off. And going to about the 37-yard line again, Jankowicz for about 3.
Yeah, kept him in check pretty well today. Nothing for large gains.
Joe DiMattina, the sophomore, was able to make the stop
Second
there.
play in a row for him.
I mean, we've been seeing a lot of tempo no huddles, but here in this game, it's been a little bit more pace.
Yeah, a lot of no huddle, but not a lot of tempo. You know,
Trying to get a last-second substitution, and Daniel Allen in the game.
2-back
So
set.
between split backs, rallying the shotgun. We'll give to Jankowicz. He'll try and turn the corner.
Ah, nice job.
And he'll get to about maybe the 40, maybe the 41. They might give him the 42.
Yeah, see, nice job there by 32, sealing the edge. Mills for Hill. Looking at the wrong one. Sorry about that. We don't have a 32. Well, okay.
Well,
Look, hey, listen, whoever's on that far side, so he sealed the edge. He forced them back inside. Brings up a 3rd and short. But that's a great play, staying home and forcing the ball back to the rest of your team.
here I would play fake Jankowicz and get Powell and get those 2 yards.
Okay.
We'll see if they call it right here on 3rd and 2.
Can you call that down to the sideline, Tom?
No, we're just broadcasting.
All right, okay. All right. All right.
That's okay.
Going heavy here, too, huh?
Yes, 3rd and 2. They do send Jankowicz, and there is Powell. There's a first down. And he's still going about the 49-yard line.
Wow.
Okay, now I got to predict world peace next.
Wow, talk about a load to bring down, huh? Man, I would not step in front of that. That's a great play.
And
Wow.
I had a feeling Cardi would call that one, and he did a 7-yard pickup. And it's 1st and 10. Hillsborough at the 49 is we're 3:40 and counting till halftime, and nobody's broken the zeros yet.
You know, Tom, I like a little bit of that 2-back set. It gives you a little bit of dynamic back there.
Well, they're going to do 2 receivers on the right here. And here's Jankowicz. He'll turn the corner, cross midfield. He'll get to the 45 and maybe the 44. That's another 7 yards. And now Hillsborough's getting a little bit of a groove here.
Yeah, stretch play right with a blocker in front, number 2. Did a nice job. Is that Schwartz out there?
Yeah, the sophomore Schwartz able to help on the block.
A little bit of a lead block. Nice job. You let Jankowicz read it, and then pop where he needs.
All right, Hillsborough lines up, and looks like they're going spread here. On 2nd and 4, and Schwartz.
No, not that
Oh,
time.
he bounces out, and he doesn't really get much at all. Not much at all. And the sophomore is able to get a yard on the play.
Yeah, Rossetti was in there on the play, brings up 3rd and manageable for Hillsborough, but Westfield gives themselves a little better chance here on 3rd down.
You know, I'm thinking next year, you're looking at Jankowicz and Swarsh. I mean, you talk about a change of pace between those two. And after, Powell's a senior. He graduates, and then, you'll get some new people in here and see how Hillsborough operates. But right now, it's 3rd and 2 from the 43. A play fake by Rowling. He tries to run, and he has clocked at the 46-yard line. I don't think you want to meet up into the defender
15?
known as Julian Montez, the senior. He ran into him and went straight backward.
Yeah, Brian Jordan was in there with a little help. You know, I'm kind of surprised at that call, Tom, to be honest with you. Yeah, you figure if you get 4th and short, you run the ball, you could probably go on the 40, 42-yard line. But, yeah, now they're probably going to have to punt here.
And this is a big play here. I'm actually a little surprised Westfield decided not to call a timeout because we're running a minute 35 and counting till halftime.
That's a good point, Tom. I agree with you there.
Well, let's see what Powell can do for the punt. He's standing on the 40-yard line. A high snap there coming. Now there's a flag down. And a fair catch at the 20-yard line. We got to find out what this is all about. Let's See what the perennial call
Now
is
they're
here.
coming down to this end, so it's either tacked on afterward or.
Oh, rifle. Stay there.
Oh, they picked it up.
Yes, we
So I
picked it up,
guess negate the flag, and it's Westfield ball 1st and 10. They're going to spot the ball at the 21-yard line.
So I guess Westfield, you're playing close to the best, right? You don't call a timeout. You're probably pretty happy with the way things are, right?
And not only that, you got a 2-for-1 situation here because Westfield gets the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, they didn't seem like they were real interested to 2-for-1, though, did it? Well, let's see.
3 wide slot right here on 1st and 10.
There it is.
And it's a keeper by Cho.
Yeah.
And he will get to about the 26-yard line.
They're pretty darn happy with the way things are, no doubt.
So that's a gain of, we'll say, 6. And now they're going under a minute left in the half. Here's Cho back throwing left. Pass is caught. That's a first down. And getting out of bounds. And good catch by Ferrero, the leading receiver. Moves the chains, but more importantly, stops the clock with 52 seconds till halftime.
You know, really curious. It's like they don't, they do. They, I'm not quite sure what they're looking at, but here we are. They have all 3 timeouts, so let's see.
Well, they can do whatever they want pretty much here. 1st and 10. Back to pass Cho. Looks like a right slant. That's caught, but read beautifully down the 40-yard line. It was caught by Magarini and only gets about 3. And now we're going to have a timeout call. And they haven't signaled. Now we do. Timeout called by Westfield. So why don't we take a break? 41 seconds, still halftime, and nothing's happened yet, but we'll be back in a moment. Okay, we are back after the Westfield timeout. 2nd and 6. Back to pass Cho. He'll fire. I think under. Oh, he caught it. Oh, my goodness. Inside the 35 down to the 32-yard line. And it's Ferrero again.
Yeah, looks like they might kill it here.
Or I don't know if you're allowed to. On 1st and 10. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're gonna spike it with 31 seconds till halftime. And remember, Westfield has 2 timeouts.
And remember those 30 seconds that they let take off before they got the ball. Here we are. You'd have a minute left.
Time management.
Oh, yeah.
And that's exactly
That's
what
why
they're trying to do.
I thought it was curious. But here we are.
Hey, remember.
Here we are.
Remember, the coach knows more than we do. So 2nd and 10 after the spike from the 33. Back is Cho. He's going to roll right. He's going to take a shot down the field, and that one is going to be incomplete. And they went for Magarini, but it ends up going incomplete.
And no flags. Yeah.
Jankowitz on the coverage there. So it is 3rd and 10 with 25 seconds till halftime.
Kind of hard to blow by him, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, Jankowitz had a little bit of a tough day defensively last week against Somerville. So you know they're trying to they're going to try and exploit that matchup any way they can.
Listen, I think you're looking for man-to-man matchups is really what you want.
Looks like a cover 2 for Hillsborough.
Yep. Which means they're going to give up the short throw.
Back goes Cho on 3rd and 10. He's looking. He's going to fire one, and that one. Oh, and a late flag coming down. So let's see what this is all about.
So that will stop the clock for them. Kind of gives you an extra timeout here.
And it stops the clock with 19 seconds till halftime.
If it's 15, I guess you'll take the penalty. It's probably an extra yard or 2, maybe. Let's see.
Well, we're going to find out exactly what the call is here.
We have DPI.
Which,
Previous spot.
that's the 3rd time Hillsborough's been hit with pass interference.
And he caught the ball too. Nice catch.
I thought it was incomplete.
Yeah, but he caught it.
Go 15.
Well, the 15 could be more than the spot, so.
Pass interference. on a defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
There you go.
First down.
So that ball is going to be at the 17-yard line. This is going to be the first time inside the red zone for either team. As you can see, 19 seconds till halftime.
Well, you got 2 timeouts. You could do anything with this you want because you can use both of those. You probably have enough for 2 plays.
Maybe even 3.
Maybe.
And I have a sideline play up the.
But now the whole field's in play.
Well, at least the next 19 yards. 1st and 10. Here's Cho back to pass. He's going to throw the middle. Pass is caught. Going inside the 10. They'll stop the clock down to the 8-yard line again. Magarini with the grab. And another timeout can be called by Westfield with 11 seconds still halftime.
And guess what, Tom? You got your 2 plays now.
You definitely do. Now, let me throw this at you.
Sure. No, just don't hit me with it.
I'm not going.
Go ahead.
Not going to hit you with this, but
right.
I'm sure Hillsborough fans who follow this their high school very regularly. Now, this is the 5th meeting between these two. Of course, the first meeting came September 14th, 2012. Did you know that Hillsborough won that game by a count of 57-34? And that was a game where John Banasiski scored 4 touchdowns in that game. Now, it wasn't 106-83 like in North Carolina a month ago, but you see what I'm getting at. That was a high-scoring affair. Here we got goose eggs with 11 seconds till halftime, and it's 1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
Well, you got the field shrunk down here, Tom, so let's see what they do.
This is going to be a big play for Hillsborough's defense. Here's Cho taking a snap on 1st and goal, taking a shot for the end zone and knocked away incomplete. They went for height, but Jankowicz was able to knock it away.
It's also another man-to-man matchup. Yeah.
And they got 2nd and goal. Now you still have that 1 timeout to use. So there's definitely 2 plays here.
Do you know what's funny, though? You can run this ball, too, because you have the timeout. No risk.
That's certainly true, but do they want to risk that? Then you'll force a pass. All right, here we go on a 2nd and goal. Here's Cho back to pass. Going to go the other way. It is caught, and it's welcome to the end zone.
Oh, that's a sweet back shoulder throw.
And guess who? It's Enzo Ferrero who makes the grab for the touchdown with 2 seconds still halftime.
And he was a little bit too enthusiastic about that, and a flag I think you're going to get.
Oh, they might get unsportsmanlike here.
Yeah, that's what they're going to get. Yep.
So, yeah, you can't do that in high school. So there's going to be a 15-yard penalty tacked on, whether it's on the kickoff or on the conversion.
Well, that is
I would take it on the conversion because
Hillsborough has that choice. Exactly.
Nothing.
That's what I'm taking.
On a PAT.
No doubt. On the PAT, of course. Yep.
Yeah, so the touchdown is good.
Makes it a 17-yard PAT.
Sports-like conduct. Yep. On the way, enforce our previous spot, PAT.
Yep. That's smart.
All right, so the touchdown counts, but the unsportsmanlike is going to be enforced from the conversion spot, which means they'll be doing the conversion from the 18-yard line.
And they're going to kick it.
Well, might as well.
35-yarder.
Yeah, that would be, a 35-yard extra point. So an NFL-style extra point, if you want to call it that.
And then some.
Here's the snap. Kick on its way.
He's got the distance. Look at that.
Oh, he got it.
Look
Kick
at
is good. It just cleared the left upright, and Westfield's like 15-yard penalty, no problem.
No biggie.
And it's a 7-0 lead for Westfield with 2 seconds left till halftime.
Now, you keep that in mind for later in the game if they need a field goal. You know, he's got 35-yard range for sure. That was well done. And you know what? The snap wasn't the greatest.
Let's take a look at the replay on that touchdown catch by Ferraro there.
Watch top of your screen. Watch the back shoulder throw. He goes into the defender. Back. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that was a previous play. I'm sorry.
It was. All right, here we are.
All right, take 2.
All right. Well, so, again, top of your screen. The defender back pedals. He throws this little back shoulder right there. He turns the other way. Bang.
And that was a beautiful throw by Cho, who ends up throwing his 8th touchdown of the year.
And, Howard, that's why I love those man-to-man matchups. I really do. The offense has a great advantage on those.
And so Westfield, I'm sure, will try and do something directional in the final 2 seconds.
I'm rolling that baby about the 40-yard line. There you are.
Right.
That's exactly what you do.
And he falls on it,
and
only 1 second went off the clock.
Unless the first guy touched it. I wasn't sure that was deflected off him or not. Well,
Was
let's see.
it could have been the bounce, but Hillsborough's going to get one shot at this.
They will.
So the ball's spotted at the 46-yard line. So wasn't sure if it just hit.
Is that home style mashed potatoes there? Yeah, okay.
Well, they're going to get one play out of this. And remember, half can end on a
Actually, no, we're
defensive.
not. That's
Oh,
the-
no, they said never mind.
And that's the right call, too, I think. Yeah, there you go.
So go ahead and tell me your thoughts in this first half, right?
Listen, defensive struggle for sure. Westfield puts together that nice drive at the end with a couple of nice throws. They really opened up the offense. They took the short passes, the medium range passes, and they did a nice job in the red zone on that back shoulder throw. And let's not forget the 35-yard extra point.
Okay, what a halftime score. Westfield Blue Devils 7, Hillsborough Raiders nothing. We're going to come back for the second half in a bit. But in the meantime, the Pride of Hillsborough Raider Marching Band comes your way next.
We are blessed with one life, a kaleidoscope of moments. What we have done and what we are about to do. Think of these moments as your journey. Life is too short to wake up with regret. So love the people that treat you right. And believe that everything happens for a reason. They never said life's journey would be easy. They just promised it would be worth it. The key to a wonderful life is to never stop wandering into wonder. How limitless life can be if we live beyond the lines. come when, with elation, you will greet yourself with a smile. Because you realize that life is wonderful because you are in the world.
Get ready for Countdown to Christmas, only on Hallmark Channel.
I'm going to bed.
57. Christmas makes me believe in love.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
Get ready for Countdown to Christmas, only on Hallmark Channel.
I'm going to bed.
Christmas makes me believe in love.
All right. Welcome back to David Noonan Field here at Hillsborough High School in Hillsborough, New Jersey. About ready to start the second half in a couple of moments. Westfield with the 7-0 lead over the Hillsborough Raiders. Of course, given the fact that this has been a defensive struggle, I mean, lately all the games we've seen from Hillsborough have been defensive struggles. This one is no different. But anyway, I'm Tom Wilkins with Ray Starego and Howard Gaber taking care of the controls. Just to give you an idea, Ray, as to the scores as to what we mean by defensive struggles. Last 4 games, Hillsborough's won 14-13, 15-7, 19-13, and 14-7 here. Now, outside of Hillsborough, Ray has some progress scores from other games.
You know, it's funny you say defensive struggle. The defense didn't struggle at all, actually.
You have a fair point. All right, what do you got here, Ray?
All right, here we go. Watchung Hills over Elizabeth in the third, 20-6. Boundbrook 12, Manville 7. Bridgewater Raritan over Old Bridge 35-14. North Brunswick taking care of Cranford also in the third, 14-7. Phillipsburg rolling it up on East Brunswick 35-7.
Speaking of taking care of.
Yeah, Somerville at the half, 28-7 over South Brunswick. We got a 7-0 Ridge over Union also in the second. And we, looks like in the fourth, Red Bank Catholic Toms River, 21-14 Red Bank, somewhere in the fourth, and Millville over Cherokee, 35-17.
The orange and blue gang at again up in Millville. So,
and those state liners, yeah.
Yeah, Phil. And here's the amazing thing: in the game, the neutral site game, which Hillsborough was the home team, Hillsborough beat Phillipsburg for the second time in 3 years, and that was 14-13.
And that was what time when in the season? About mid-season, a couple of weeks
I think
ago?
it was like the third or fourth week, and that was in Piscataway at the Rutgers Stadium.
Go figure, high school kids, huh? You just never know.
And that was during a huge storm. I think there were remnants of a tropical storm, and
well, that could be why it's 14-13. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like been the theme here.
But you know those games go either way in the rain, right? Could go either way. Sometimes in the rain there's a lot of turnovers, a lot of defensive scores. So.
All right. Well,
all right. Congratulations.
Well, yes, we do have special shouts and congrats going to the Hillsborough High Lady Raider volleyball team. They were winners in the Somerset County tournament today. Wow. So congrats to the volleyball team spiking their competition. So Cheryl Ione, the head coach, congrats to her on the accomplishment, as well as the students there who did a fantastic job.
Maybe that'll rub off to the football team tonight, huh, for the second half?
We will see, because remember, it is Westfield. They deferred to the second half. They will get the ball first to start the second half. Remember, their touchdown came with 2 seconds left in the first half. The only score, touchdown grab by Enzo Ferraro from 7 yards out.
Yeah, well, let's see what they're going to have another shot on defense here to start the second half.
All right, here we go. And this Hillsborough crowd getting a little fired up. Let's see if it rubs on the players. They go directional here on a high hopper, taking the 35-yard line, trying to bounce around, not going to get too much more. So down to about the 37-yard line. That was a Magarini on the return, and that's where Westfield will start first. Now, keep in mind, last year, Westfield won their game at home over Hillsborough 17-12. So Westfield seemed to have a little bit of an edge here.
Yeah, Macarini certainly didn't expect the ball on that play, though, did they? That basically says we don't want to run back.
Oh, by the way, in case you were able to catch the halftime festivities, the Pride of Hillsborough Raider marching band, they were mic'd up for halftime. That was like some of the best stuff that we have done to feature these high school kids, as we have a play fake and a pass that I think might be intercepted.
It was.
It didn't signal, but it ends up being intercepted on the part of
let's
Santa
hold on for a
Barbara.
second.
But the officials are going to discuss. Hold on.
They haven't catch her though. I just couldn't see it. My back was to it. I had nothing.
It's incomplete or what?
It's an interception.
Incomplete.
Oh, they ruled it incomplete. If you don't see it, you can't make it wrong.
Howard, can we see that one? No, he's busy up here. I'd like to see that one.
Wow.
We'd love to see that one again.
Well, it ends up being so. After a discussion,
you can't always get what you want, right?
After discussion, it's ruled an incomplete pass and a big break for Westfield.
Huge.
Well, let's see how this turns
He
out.
threw it a slant, threw it out just a little in front of him.
Back goes Cho, and the pass is going to be caught, but good coverage that time by Hillsborough's defense, keeping a minimal game for Ferrero. And once again, it is a Santa Barbara making a stop. Almost came away with the interception on the previous play.
Almost did, but see, that time the coverage was a little bit better by the inside man. The outside coverage, the corner gave him space, but he had his teammate on the inside to clean up the play.
3rd and 7. Here's Cho back to pass. Has time. Now he's being rushed, and he throws it to the ground. Let's see what this is about. They're going to rule it incomplete.
Yep.
So no grounding, and it's going to be 3 and out after all for Westfield. So Hillsborough has raised their game to begin the second half.
Sure. They call them halftime adjustments, right? Good job by Hillsborough coming out here.
That is an adjustment and a half, so 3 and out go Westfield, and they don't get the 2 for 1, but they do get the 1 and still have the touchdown lead, but be careful who you punt it to.
And we'll see if they have it figured out on the other side of the ball in a minute.
Here's a good snap. They're coming, and it's a high pop-up. That's going to be Van Cleef on the return, and he slides for a fair catch at about the 28-yard line.
Ah, interesting, huh?
So the question now is, Ray, what adjustments do you think Hillsborough will make on the offensive side of the ball?
I don't know. There weren't a lot of holes in that first half, that's for sure. Jankowitz had a couple of decent runs, but by and large, a lot of 2, a lot of 3-yard runs.
You know what? I'd start with Powell. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to be right this time around, but you use Powell in a big spot and try and get a few yards on the play and try and soften up a little bit. And then you could go to either Jankowitz or Schwartz if you want to.
Guess not at least to start the half.
Hey, you never know. They'll triple the left side here on 1st and 10 for the 28-yard line. And it is Jankowitz getting the carry. He'll cross. He'll try and get to the 30, but that's about it.
Boy, short side of the field too, huh? Yeah.
No, they gave him 2.
Yeah, they did.
So 3 on 3 there. Shepard with the tackle, the senior, came up with a nice play.
Westfield was ready too, yeah. You know, I could see running Powell that way, but I'm not sure running Jankowitz that way. Short side, not a lot of room.
Well, maybe they're just setting things
Well,
up.
there we are. Yeah.
2nd and 8, same formation as before. And it looks like Rowling's audibleizing a little bit here, changing play up. Oh, maybe Cardi changed the play up for him. Now a handoff up the middle, and there's going to be is there a loose ball? Did the ball come
yeah,
out?
I think there was. He's calling him down. He's pointing down.
Eric!
So he's down by contact, and Jankowitz lucky there. 3rd and 5 after a 3-yard pickup.
Good sell, Gary. Good sell. Good sell.
Yeah, as long as someone's buying, right?
Well,
that's all we need.
Put it this way, Jankowicz, I think he lost the ball last week against Somerville, and he's got to hang on to the ball no matter what happens. Same formation, tripling to left on 3rd and 5. Rowling back, looking, and the pass ends up
nice
being
play.
tipped, and it's incomplete.
Oh, brother. Man, was that close. Boy, does 73 want that one back, huh?
Well, I thought that it ends up being incomplete, so Hillsborough now goes 3 and out. So, needless to say, Westfield has responded to what Hillsborough has done.
Romano getting the hands up, the big 73 gets him up there and makes a nice play because I think it's a little slant on the inside by the slot receiver. I think it was open.
So it'll be 4th down. I'll be interested to see if Hillsborough will line up for a punt. Remember, a fake is always possible. Will they use it here?
Yeah, well,
Powell can kick.
Well, that's why you're up here, so.
Well, and they're down there. So what do they do?
Oh, boy.
Keep your eyes out. They'll kick it. They're coming, though, and it's a good punt toward the sideline. It goes out of bounds. And we're going to say the 45-yard line. Why don't we cue up that interception, or the interception that wasn't, to start the second half? Describe this.
Yeah, a little slant coming in. He throws a little too hot. Yeah, well, Mr. Official didn't help us there, did he?
Wow.
Yeah.
Tough to see.
Well, listen, on replay, that would have stood, right? we couldn't tell anyway. Wow.
Maybe in a few years we'll have mobile cameras and we'll be able to have high school challenges and stuff.
I love the way he said that official good sell. Listen, when I did a lot of refereeing at high school basketball, you make the call emphatically, whether you're right or whether you're wrong.
All right, so it's Westfield ball, 1st and 10 to 47. Cho is back. He's going to lob one left
Got
side.
him.
He's got a
Got
man. It's
him.
caught inside the 20, and that's going to be a goal
It
for
is.
Westfield.
Yep.
Or did the ball?
Ah, there we are.
Oh, my goodness. And guess who again?
got
Enzo Ferrero, 53 yards. And did the ball come out after?
Yeah, it came out after. Well, look at it. Wow.
I mean, that was a perfect throw by Cho in coverage with Santa Barbara, and that was a perfect throw. And sometimes it's just that gets the Duke there.
And you know what, Tom, I was going to say Hillsborough's kind of in a little bit of a pickle on defense. If you play way off, you give him that short throw for an easy 5-yard gain. If you play up, maybe he runs by you. So there you have both of those in the same.
They will try the
same
extra
game.
point. The snap kick on its way to make it 14-0 Westfield.
Wow.
Now, while we take a look at the replay on Ferreira's second touchdown reception, a 53-yarder, pay attention to the end of the play and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Top of your screen. Man-to-man. No safety help. There it is. Wow.
Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I think we're good. He reaches it out right
Yeah,
there.
he broke the plane before.
Yeah.
He broke the plane before the ball came
And
out.
he's going to have to fix it, too. No doubt about it.
So it ends up being
Hey.
a touchdown, but a great play by Westfield. They go up 14-0.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, their last win 2 weeks ago was against Somerville, and you know Somerville gave Hillsborough fits. That was that 31-29 game 2 weeks ago. And now, here they are. This is a very rare occurrence for Hillsborough, down 2 touchdowns on their home field. So this potentially could be a must-score game. Oh, peekaboo.
Oh, here we are. Yeah.
So, Ray, what are you
Flashbacks.
thinking so far?
Man, I don't know. You listen. You scores are going out all over the high school fields, getting them, and there's a whole bunch of people saying, "Wow, I didn't see that coming."
I didn't see the war bomb the way either,
No
but
way. Wow.
I sure didn't, because Hillsborough, I guess, warming up for potential postseason play. But you're wondering if they got caught looking ahead, or if Westfield just had a great game plan going in.
Oh, Westfield's played great defense. No question. Look at that kickoff.
Yeah, that's going right in the end zone for a touchback.
On the fly. Ouch.
You don't see
In
too
height?
many.
No, you certainly
You don't see too many of those.
No doubt. 85. Let me see. That's a great kick.
That sure is. So it is a
85.
first
Yeah,
down.
well, whoever he is.
Left hash.
I'm going to have
Left hash.
to call Shiano to see if he needs a kicker in a couple of years. That's wow. End zone
Well,
high
Rutgers
school.
isn't too far away, and
No, they're not.
you know anybody could be using a kicker at this point in time. So remember in high school, touchbacks are the 20-yard line, regardless of kickoff or punt.
You know, Tom, I'd like to see a little more two-back set here. I know they're going to spread them out here, but let's see.
Let's see what they do with Riling on first down. They will try and give
boy.
Jankowitz a shot,
Well, they're going to stay with it, I guess, right?
and maybe about 2
Wow.
to at the 22-yard line. I tell you, Westfield's front 7 has really bottled up that
Sure
running
are.
game for Hillsborough. And considering the size that Westfield has, I think that goes to their advantage.
Yeah, no question. Not a lot of room. Time for a little creativity, maybe.
Well, let's see what Cardi dials up.
All right.
They're going to go triple on the right, 4 receiver set.
You got man-to-man on this side down here.
Yeah, there's going to be
A
some more
single
passing
single
now.
Receiver.
There's going to be some more passing now. I
both,
could see
both
it.
linebackers are playing run for sure. Up there's the
Riling back, going to take a shot down the field, double
Got
cover.
him.
It is
There
caught.
it is.
Holy mackerel! At about the 37-yard line. James Rowe. Whoa, what a grab.
What a throw!
A gain
Oh,
of
my
41 yards, and it was perfect.
And he was perfectly covered too, but it didn't matter. Dropped it right in the bucket.
In double coverage, no less. That's impressive. Now they'll switch to triple on the left, and they'll go tempo here. First and 10 to 37. Rowling's going to give the Jankowitz. Now cross the 35, maybe get to 33, so another 4 yards. So trying to soften the defense up a little bit.
Well, you hope they do soften up because they're really just not a lot there.
And they want to go deep again. That pulls the linebackers up too. Let's not forget.
And you know what? They're going to keep those linebackers right where they are because you got to stop number 3. Whatever else happens, happens.
Well, they spread out here on 2nd and 6. Riling back. He'll throw right, and
there
it's
it is again.
spiked down.
One more time.
Incomplete.
56 that time on a nice knockdown.
A beautiful deflected on the part of Julian Montez. The senior was able to knock it down, force a 3rd and 6.
If you can't rush the passer, get the hands up, right? And again, man was open as well, second time.
3rd and 6, and right now for Hillsborough, this is a play of the game. I know it's 7:56 left in the third quarter, but this is big.
Well, listen, you're in 4-down territory here, so you don't have to get it all.
Well, they like to get more than enough. 3rd and 6. Here's Riling back. Rush coming from the right.
There it is.
He's going to roll. He's going to fire it. And that pass, I think it's a catch.
I guess it is.
Yes, it is.
Sir.
Inside the 20-yard line. Ozukbor with the grab. And a big first down for Hillsborough. They're going in the air.
That's a nice job. Well, they're going to have to go in the air because they're just simply bottling up the run. You know, no doubt about it. That's a nice throw on the run. They blitzed off the corner. He picked him up and managed to escape one of the defenders. Made a nice throw.
1st and 10 from the 17 in the red zone is Hillsborough for the first time. Back to pass looking. He'll take a shot. He's got Santiago.
He does.
And I think he got it. Nope, incomplete. It just slipped through.
Yeah, nice job by 33, Luke Jordan there at the very last second to get his hand in there.
And Cardi completely just recycling the game plan and saying, let's start from scratch.
And Tom went in Rome, right? You know, you got two things: you throw or you pass, and when you throw or you run. And when the run's not working, and it hasn't been, you got to do what you got to do.
I think the last time that Hillsborough was down 14-0 on this field was against Phillipsburg 2 years ago. Remember, they came back and won that one extra time. Here's Jankowitz on 2nd down, and he's going to be bottled up.
No, sir.
Stopped on the play by Lincoln Myers, the junior.
Yeah, he fights off the block, gets in on the tackle. Nice job.
So now you got 3rd and 11 from the 18-yard line. They got definitely go back to the pass.
Yeah, no question about that. You know, maybe you run Jankowitz out of the backfield, right? Get him out in the flat. Yeah.
Well, what they're doing here is they're going to probably go spread out here. Jankowitz to the left of Riling. They spread.
Let's see what he
3rd
does.
and 11 from the 18. Now to get man motion. Back goes Riling. They're coming, looking. Going to take a shot in the end zone. That one is going to be a little high.
Picked the wrong man.
And it's intercepted in the end zone.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Nicholas
And
Russo,
Nicholas Russo, the junior, ends up catching in the end zone. I think it was a little overthrown.
You know, Tom, he had two guys in that corner of the end zone. He unfortunately picked the wrong guy because you had somebody in the back of the end zone that was open.
Well, let's take a look on the left side of your screen.
You watch the play again. Watch the slot receiver coming across 14. See him blow by the linebacker, and there he is. Yep.
Yeah, Santiago had a step in the back of the end zone, but the throw went the other way, and it was a little bit overthrown and ends up being a turnover for Hillsborough. But they've shown they're able to move the ball, and there's still time. Now it's the defense that needs to make a stop.
No doubt.
Here's Cho on 1st and 10, who's going to take it himself, and away he goes to the 40 and down to the 45, 46-yard line. This time it's Hudson Rue making the stop. That's a 26-yard pickup.
And with 119 yards on the season for him, we could probably guess that's his longest run of the year.
Well, you don't know. But that's a huge play, and there are no flags. Talk about that's a big chunk play there.
It is. Second time today they ran him.
So 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line.
Now on defense, you got a lot to look for, don't you?
Joe Backham will throw. That pass is caught.
Pass, yep.
And once again, that's Magarini.
Yep.
Catches it for a manageable 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, come down, keep the defender in front of you, quick turnaround, bang, done. Yeah.
And I think the quick passing game has thrown Hillsborough off balance yet again. Well, and they've been showing signs of being a little bit off the last couple of weeks.
They got them coming and going, right? I mean, you know, short passes, deep passes, and you throw in a little quarterback run in there, and you really keep them off balance.
Well, head coach Jim DeSarno has called a heck of a game for Westfield High School today. And they're up 14-0 here, a little more than halfway through the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 5 in the shotgun. And this will be a handoff. Caramago gets flattened. And the ball came out after the knee was down, so it'll end up being a 2-yard pickup and now an official timeout.
And guess what? He was crunched too, Tom.
Yeah, there is a player down. And one of the Westfield players. So let's grab a break here with 5:24 left in the third. Westfield over Hillsborough, 14-0. We'll come back in just a moment.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
Get ready for Countdown to Christmas, only on Hallmark Channel.
I'm going to bed.
Christmas makes me believe in love.
Okay, we are back after a delay. The injured, a Westfield player, was Joshua Caramagno, who evidently suffered an upper body injury on that last play. He did walk off slowly with a little assistance. We're hoping he'll be all right. But that could be a big loss for Westfield
Certainly
going later in
changed
the game.
plan a little, right, Tom?
Well, we'll find out here on 3rd and 3 from the 47-yard line. As here's Cho back looking, fires at the middle, and he had his tight end.
Yes, he did. He
And
did
it was
four
Colin
again.
Coyle,
Mark
incomplete.
Navarro again. Yeah.
And that'll force Westfield to punt. So
And that
big
was,
break for
that was
Hillsborough.
sorely needed, too. Absolutely. You had to have that one.
And you wonder if the absence of Caramagno due to injury
that's
had
what I
something to
said.
do with
Yeah,
that play.
But they've been chucking it around the park here ever since about mid-second quarter, so.
Well, we'll see what Hillsborough does to respond here. At least their defense was able to hold,
Hey, no
hold
Jankowicz
true.
again. What's going on there, I wonder?
That would be James Rue, if that's the case.
Or number 1.
Hillsborough cannot afford to jump offside. There's a good snap and punt. Will Rue take it? He does at about the 10-yard line. And he'll make a man miss.
On that one. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is Tyler Van Cleef. Van Cleef able to get to about the 19-yard line.
Interesting, without number 3 back there, they don't mind punting the ball straight away, huh?
Well, you got to remember,
Different story.
he has that type of speed where he'll break a play and be in the end zone before you know it.
Right, so I'm
As
saying
we are in the booth
so-
again.
So the strategy changes, right, depending on who's back there.
I think on both sides, given the injury on Westfield and Hillsborough going to the passing game, I think both head coaches are kind of changing things up now.
Well, here we go again.
Well, we'll have to see how this plays out. There's still 5:03 and an entire fourth quarter to go, so plenty of time left. 1st and 10 for Hillsborough as Ryling's going to throw left.
Nice job.
And it's a good catch. Taken by Daniel Allen, the senior. And he gets to about the 30-yard line. That's going to move the chains and a good start to the drive for a first down.
Well, listen, he faked inside like he's going deep. As soon as that corner turns, his 28 turns his shoulders, it's an easy throw at that point.
So 1st and
Look
10.
Look at the room he's getting on the end here.
There you see
About
that.
7 yards.
Like triple to far side here on 1st and 10. Riling again goes left. And they went in Allen's direction again, just couldn't get that one incomplete.
Bet you Jankowitz would like to have that one, huh?
He-
Coming underneath out of the backfield.
Well, it's 2nd and 10, and obviously, and Jankowitz is not even on the field for this
Oh,
drive,
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
that
think.
was 2. My fault. I thought it was 3.
Yeah, Schwartz is in there right now.
There we go.
Probably saving Jankowitz for the fourth quarter, possibly.
Well, could be.
So a lot, and you got to remember, you're dealing with a two-way player. I mean, he's a running back, but he also is a
Yes.
defensive back. Here's Riling back on 2nd down, throwing one, a
got
short
that one,
gain
though.
this time to about the 33. And now is Allen again.
Yeah, a little button hook there for a couple of yards. You're hoping he can break a tackle. Not on that one.
Russo at the stop, but maybe about 3. So you're looking right outside the 34. You got to get to the 41 for the line of gain here.
So you want to say this is a big 3rd down, Tom?
As if we didn't know. They do spread out. Riling in a shotgun. Hillsborough trying to get themselves going. Here's a throw, and there's Allen again. I don't think he got the first
don't
down.
think
He
he
caught
did.
it like
Wait a
the
minute.
39.
Let's see.
And there's a late
Oh.
flag. There is a late flag, and this could be critical.
Guess what? He's got the first down now.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
After the play,
Yeah.
personal foul, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
so a big first down on a penalty by Westfield. And that is going to put Hillsborough at the Westfield 46-yard line. A huge play.
Well, listen, you can't say he didn't finish the tackle, right?
You're not kidding, but that's
Wow.
not the way to do it.
It is not.
And it's the first penalty against Westfield, I believe, today. Remember, Hillsborough's had 3 pass interference calls against
And I
them.
think they would have been looking at 4th and 1, I believe.
Yeah, tough break there for
we
Westfield.
go.
So 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line.
Cash it in.
Let's see if they can. Riling under a rush. And, oh, he is
that's a nice
cold
job. Wow.
and sacked. And I wonder if that was a horse.
No.
They yanked him literally in the back of the collar.
See, the
Or
problem-
the side, I don't know, but
Nah, Tom, you need a tighter jersey than that. He just grabbed a hold of that sucker and pulled on it right at the shoulder pad.
and forces a 10-yard loss in the
Sure.
process. A
Wow.
huge sack against Riling, and now it's 2nd and 20.
Yeah, that was a nice play on the corner. Nice job. He almost got by him, but he grabbed that jersey right at the top.
And just threw it down.
Threw him down, yep.
All right, Schwartz goes off. And
There he
Jankowitz is in probably in a slot position, or he's probably just getting a play call here. So it's an empty gun here, 2nd and 20. Riling,
See if the wide receivers crisscross. There it is.
back to pass. He's in trouble again. He
man.
escapes, and he's going to try and run it
a good
across
job.
midfield, and he gets out of bounds almost back at the original line of scrimmage.
Yep.
So Riling really had to run for it and is able to get at least 9.
See,
Yeah,
Tom-
3rd and 11.
Yeah, Tom, when you're down a couple of scores and the running game wasn't working, these guys now just peel their ears back. Changes everything.
And the defensive line kind of did the job there.
Sure did. Well, listen, you don't got to play run, right? 2nd and 20. They're not running the football.
Now on 3rd and 11 from the 47-yard line, rallying the shotgun, triple on the left.
Blitz off the corner. Number
And down
5.
he's
There
going to
he
go.
comes. Wow.
Boy, Westfield came with the heat, and Zach Ragda Jr. sacks him and forces 4th and long, and it's going to be another Hillsborough punt. They can't take advantage of that late hit by Westfield in that series.
Well, you know, Tom, it's lack of balance, right? Lack of run-pass balance. They're just peeling their ears back on the defensive line and rushing.
Well, they end up going back at their own 46. I think Westfield's been able to predict what Hillsborough's been doing, and now Carty's really going to have to scramble here. Oh, a high snap that goes through Powell's hands, and he's going to end up falling down at the 33-yard line.
And you know what? It was high, but it wasn't real high.
It came out very quickly. I don't know if Powell was ready for it.
Right, may not have been. Yeah, it kind of didn't look that way, did it?
I mean, we're going to have to take a look at a replay to see if he just couldn't get a handle on it, or he was looking the other way.
Let's see where his head is as he's ready to catch this ball. There it is.
Let's watch what happens.
Let's see to see.
Yeah, he looked a little hesitation.
Straight ahead. Yep, exactly. See?
Yeah, a little hesitation. That's why it went through his hands.
Can't catch it if you don't see it, right?
And Westfield with 1st and 10 from the Hillsborough 33. Cho back and will fire. It is caught and wide open inside the 20-yard line. And once again, Ferrero, who has the 2 touchdown receptions, another first down now for Westfield.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's got 20 on the season. He probably has 25 or 27 now, huh?
Well, he's having a heck of a game. The ball is spotted just inside the red zone, the 19-yard line. So 14-yard pickup, and it's 1st and 10.
Hillsborough has to figure out a way here.
Again, the shotgun is Cho with a man in motion. They'll go a run pass, and it's actually a dive play to about the 16-yard line. And Luke Spade, the sophomore, was able to get a couple yards there.
Blitzing off the corner again. Looks like a Hillsborough player down.
Yeah, it looks like a Hillsborough player is shaken up on the play. So let's take it inside here. And Ray, I mean, what's been the difference for Westfield today, especially with the way this game is played out?
Listen, as soon as they decided to go to that passing game about mid-second quarter, like I said, they've kind of got them coming and going. They're throwing a little. If the corners, the DBs back off, they're throwing the little short pass. If they play a little bump and run, they're just running by them, and they're getting man-to-man coverage, and they're taking advantage of it. It's a really tough thing to deal with when you got both of those going.
Well, and I also got to say, too, Hillsborough in their 3 home games here on this field, they have had a lot of trouble stopping the pass, from what I've noticed.
Well, it certainly is it's extremely evident today. You know, like I said, when I look down at the stats and see Max Cho at 7-1, you know, that he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't give the ball up.
That was Garrett Roebuck, the shaking up Raider on the play, but he's up and all right. 2nd and 8. From about the 17-yard line, here's Cho. They're coming after him this time, and the handoff goes to about the 14. And again, Spade was the one who was able to get through. Powell made the stop, but it's another 3, and it's 3rd and 4 coming up.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you look at the 35-yard extra point that we had earlier in the game, you're certainly in field goal range here.
And if they make it, it's a 3-score game.
3-score game, absolutely. Critical.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter. And Westfield taking their good old time. They are not rushing at all.
And a little TFL here, a little tackle for a loss wouldn't hurt here.
This will be a huge play. 3rd and 4, another handoff. It's a keeper. Yep. And Cho, I don't think got it. He may have gone to about the 12. They might give him the 11, but he's going to be about 2 yards short.
You notice where he ran, Tommy?
Up the middle.
Up the middle. Get the ball in the center of the field.
So when we come back, because I'm pretty sure they are not going to get this kickoff before 3/4 time.
They're not going to want to either.
Yeah, they're already heading to the benches. So here's the story, folks. We're coming up on 3/4 time here in Hillsborough. It's Westfield looking to pull the surprise. They lead Hillsborough 14-0. Let's grab a break. The final quarter of this one comes your way after this. We are back here in Hillsborough. I'm Tom Wilkins with Ray Starego and Howard Gable with the controls. Begin the final quarter. Westfield a 14-0 lead on Hillsborough. Westfield is not playing like a 3-4 team. They are playing extremely well tonight.
Yeah, well, listen, look, they've racked up some points this year. I mean, this isn't a total surprise.
I mean, you have to
They've
consider.
scored a bit this year.
I mean, they
nothing
want
Scotch Plains, 31-23 against Elizabeth.
and even a losing effort against Watchung Hills. They put up 20.
Here's your field goal, Tom.
All right, well, this is going to make it a 3-score game. This is from 28 yards. A snap kick on its way, and he got it.
Goodness.
It is good. It just made it over the right upright.
What a weapon.
And Westfield makes it 17-0 on the first play of this final quarter.
Yeah, and like I said, that run up the middle figures we get it. Great if we don't. We're right smack dab in the middle.
And that botched snap was the difference in Westfield getting those points.
No question.
So,
No doubt.
So now Hillsborough is going to have to definitely go fast forward and see if they can get into the end zone. You have to remember, I mentioned this right at the beginning of the game. It's the last time Hillsborough broke 20 on offense. That was in the third week when they beat Bridgewater Raritan 29-21. But since then, 7, 14, 15, 19, and 14 have been their scores. And here, Hillsborough's looking to get their first point, and we're just starting the fourth quarter.
And they got Jankowitz back there deep again, looks like.
I can almost guarantee you they're not going to kick that way.
Put your athletes on the field now if you're Hillsborough.
I think Schwartz is one of the up men here, too.
Yeah. Little punch to the 25-yard line, maybe?
Well, we'll soon find out. Approaching and kicking off.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Taking about the 10. Let's see if he gets a hole. And
he went
Jankowicz trying to
sideways
slip
again.
out. And he goes down to 25. He got hit afterward, but the officials say that it was good. So no flag thrown. And Hillsborough will have it at 25. First
North
and
and
10.
south, baby. North and south. Listen, let's see if they can get maybe the short passing game going. He's going to have to dink and dunk a little bit. See if we get Jankowitz in the game out of the backfield. Maybe get a little wheel route.
Well, the thing that Jankowitz has been able to do today has been break tackles.
Well,
Westfield's been right on point with their
because
defense.
It's never been man-to-man tackles is the problem.
Here's Riling in a shotgun. He's going to throw
See,
left.
That's exactly what you want to do.
And the pass is caught.
That's a nice play, though.
But it's not going to be for much.
Well, you got to get that baby right up.
Santiago only able to get a yard if he's lucky.
He's got to get that right up the field, Tom. That's not a sideways play. That's a grab it and go. Pick up your 5 and play again.
You got to go forward and not to the side.
Yep.
Only ends up being a 1-yard pickup. So that forces 2nd and 9. I think this week they were relying more on Riling because last week it was the run they were relying on.
They have no choice, Tom. Run game's not there.
Riling only threw 9 passes last week. And he's going to throw another one. Looking, pump faking, and in trouble. He's going down again. Just nobody open.
No, good coverage downfield. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders back playing pass.
That's the third time that Rowling's been sacked, and it'll be Chris Rossetti who gets credit for this one of the captains. And you can see that Westfield's throwing a cover 2 at them right now. There you see the 2 deep safeties in the back. Now Hillsborough's going to have to convert on a 3rd and 13.
Well, that's why you got to chop them up underneath, Tom.
Okay, here we go. Looking to creep up here. Back goes Riling on 3rd down. Has a little time. Now he's going to have to run. He's looking, he's firing, and that one is going to be caught. And that'll be a first down.
Nice
a
job.
big first down by James Rue. On 3rd and 13. Let's see if that gives Hillsborough a little bit of a spurt.
Well, he rolls out to the right. Not that he wants to, but he had to, and still found a man. And dare I say, that was the one that keeps this game alive.
Well, that was a 21-yard pickup. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Riling will have the triple on the left side to work with this time. And they decide to try the run. Does not work. Jankowitz loses a couple.
83 right there to make the play again.
And once again, it's Zach Ragg, the junior, who ends up stopping the play.
Boy, he's had a nice day too, huh?
I mean, you have to run a play once, do a running play once in a while, to be honest. Can't be throwing the ball all the time. Some teams choose not to do that, or they just rely on a run all the time. So you kind of have to mix it up. Let's see if they slant here. 2nd and 12. Riling back. Quickly goes the other way to Jankovic, who bounces off a man, gets to about the 48, and then gets taken out of bounds.
That's what I'm looking at, Tom.
Peter Del Rey, the senior, was the one who stopped him there, but it's still about a 6-yard pickup. So they got 3rd and 6.
But you need more of that, Tom.
They got the bubble screen working. Let's see if they try it again as they spread out. 3rd and 6 from the 48. Here's Riling back, looking. He's going to take a shot, and it's going to be wide, incomplete. They went to Ozukpor and just could not get it. So you have 9:08 left, and you need 3 scores. I mean, punting is not an option.
No, it isn't.
So they're going to have to go for it on 4th and 6. Of course, the last time they tried punting, it went right through Powell's hands.
Well, you need your best 10-yard play here.
Well, they need to get 6. 4th and 6 from the 48. They spread out, Riling in the shotgun, back to his right, takes the snap, looking. Oh, he gets hit.
Wow.
Somebody missed an assignment. And once again, it's Zach Ragg, who I believe got his 3rd sack and a half there.
Again. My goodness. I don't know where. I wasn't watching where he was coming from, Tom. Here we go.
Yeah, somebody missed an assignment on the left side, and you'll see how Ragg gets through. Watch this.
Oh, what they stunted. That's what they did.
And it looked like 75.
73, yep.
Yeah, either Garrett Roebuck or even Joey Battaglia.
Yeah, well, 73 was on the inside. He goes right. They stunt the two linemen, and he comes free. It's a nice stunt.
And so it is Westfield. I mean, it's been their day.
It sure has.
And listen, you got football happening. I mean, you never know. Franklin one day could beat Phillipsburg. 1st and 10. Here's a handoff and going to about the 30-yard line. I think they're bringing the 2nd string in there. And Spade, who I think was doing a little bit of taunting there at the end, and a flag is coming out.
What's going to be a 1st down for White? Then we'll go from the 20 or the 30 back to the 45, 1st and 10.
Okay, so they're going to penalize from the first end of the first down.
Now, number 20.
On White, after the play, UNS on that 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
All right, so it is unsportsmanlike conduct, the personal foul there. So it is a 1st down for Westfield, but they got to do the ball at the 45-yard line. They're going to move the sticks. He got the 1st down, so it was after the play. So it is 1st and 10 from the 45. So basically, you start to drive over just 3 yards deeper.
And about 30 or 40 seconds after.
And, I mean, obviously Spade had a nice run, but, I mean, sometimes you got to contain your emotions, and it's very hard for a sophomore to do that. Nice and a handoff, again to Spade. He gets about a yard to the 44. Remember, Spade's being used a lot because of the injury to Joshua Caramango.
Bello with another nice play in there again today. He's had a nice game as well, but he always does.
So a gain of 1 at 2nd and 9 from the 44, and obviously Westfield can take their time. Now remember, each team does have their 3 timeouts left. I would not be surprised if Hillsborough start calling them maybe in the next couple of minutes. So let's find out what Westfield does here. Again, the shotgun. Probably a run-pass option.
Run.
And it is, good tackle that time. Finally, a positive play on defense. And there's Powell.
Yep. There he is again.
Joe tried to get around and ends up losing 3. So the ball now at the 47-yard line. And so it'll be 3rd and 12 now as the quarterback, Max Cho, who has actually played a pretty nice game.
Cho's had a nice day today. Couple of touchdowns, no picks.
And that 53-yard touchdown, the second touchdown catch by Ferrero. I mean, that's been the dagger so far. Yeah. Rolling back the pass, throwing the middle, pass caught, but a good play.
Yep. And you know what?
And
That's a safe throw, too.
And it is. Colin Coyle made the catch, but Van Cleef with the stop. Ends up being a 5-yard pickup, and now timeout called by Hillsborough with 7:07 left. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion as to what's going to happen. Will Westfield go for it? They got to be ready for anything at this point.
No, I'm sure you're punting here, but if you're Hillsborough, you going for this one? That's the question. Are you going to try to block this? It almost seems like you need a turnover here somehow, some way, to get back in this game.
I definitely agree with you there, but I also believe it's also very important that they get themselves established in the right spot and then proceed as to what they need to do to get points on the board. That's first and foremost. And then you try and proceed as to what to do next. But they need to get this stop right here. And it looks like Westfield is going to punt based upon what I'm seeing here as their punter standing at 44.
That would be the smart move, absolutely.
There's 7:07 left in regulation. Not often you see Hillsborough down 17-0. Remember, they lost to Ridge 28-7. That was their only other loss of the year. Ridge is a good team.
Yeah, Hillsborough's clearly not in block formation here either, so they're going to play for the return.
The snap and a short kick, and then there's also a flag down during the kick. Looks like Jankowicz got tangled with Ben Seward, and we're going to see what the officials say about this.
Yep.
I know it. I'm trying to line them up.
So we'll figure out who the foul is. It's during the kick.
They didn't help their cause here either.
But we will find out.
Kick, we're going 10 yards.
Going
Number
back.
3 red with a hold during the kick.
So they're going to get Jankowicz for a holding call.
And he's frustrated.
Jim!
You can see it.
Jim, you said it was during the kick?
It was during the kick, yes.
So when they go back to previous... Huh? Oh, post, that's right. Way out.
There you go.
Holding against them. 10-yard
10
penalty.
from the spot against them.
First down.
That's a new one.
It's,
Holding on that.
It's always us and them, you know.
We or them
we
or...
we and they.
Oh,
Yes.
my gosh.
Against them. The one I'm pointing at. That's good.
Well, anyway, it ends up being 10 yards in the spot at the end of the
24,
kick.
Eric. 24 hash mark.
So I believe they're going to – the ball went out of bounds at the
24
34-yard line. They're going to spy 10 yards from there
Holding.
at the –
During the kick. Return team. First and 10.
all right, so holding the
Just stand
call.
there.
That'll be first and 10 for the 24-yard line.
Tom, you know what? That's a frustration penalty, too.
Yeah, I mean, we see this a lot, especially
He's
in
had
the
a rough
higher
day.
levels.
Jankowicz is not in the day he's used to having.
Well,
All right, let's see.
there's a big game plan on the part of the Westfield coaching staff. Here's Riling on first and 10, and he's going to throw to Jankowicz. He's going to have some space, and there are 3 guys around him and gets about 7 or 8 yards.
You want to get your speeds through the ball in space.
And that's the big thing. I mean, as I said, Jim DeSarno, the head coach for Westfield and the Blue Devils, they spot the ball. I was going to read the assistants, but you know they're going to be
And you got to
they're
go
gonna be
big
a-
time here.
yeah, they got to go fast here.
Double time.
2nd and 3. Here's Riling in the shotgun. Will take it. Throwing in the middle. Pass is caught. Crossing the 40. Hard hit down to the 46-yard line.
Oh, boy.
Somebody's going to be seeing stars after that
he
one.
is.
It's Jankowicz.
Tough kid, though, huh?
Yeah, he sure is, and he's got 1 more year to go.
He's got hands on hips. They're going to give him at least a one-play break here.
Well, it'll be first and 10 as Hillsborough continues to try and drive and get some points on the board. They spread this time. Jankowicz out for this play. Back to pass, Riling. A throw to the right, double coverage. Santiago almost had it. It's incomplete. It was a little bit wide. I know Hillsborough is pleading for pass interference, but there wasn't any.
There wasn't.
So it is 2nd and 10 from the 46-yard line. Halfway through the 4th quarter, and Westfield pitching a shutout 17-0.
Well, if you got a hook and lateral in your arsenal,
They're going to need 3
now
of them.
may be the time.
Well, we'll see. 2nd and 10. Here's Riling back to pass. Looking. Oh, he's in trouble again. Let's see if he can get the block. He's going to throw off. Oh, the ball was tipped and ends up
That's a
going
smart
incomplete. I think the ball was tipped.
That's a smart throwaway is what that is.
That was intended for James Rue, but obviously no chance of that being complete.
complete
That was
pass out of
intended
bounds
to
the
not
line
take a
scrimmage,
sack.
third down.
Well,
But that's a good play. Live to play another down.
and that's exactly what they need. 2 more downs, and they have to get to the Westfield 44 to get to the line of gain here. So 5:49 remaining. Let's see how Hillsborough lines up. It's basically been a triple set or a spread, and they're going to go triple to the right here. 3rd and 10. Rallying back, rolling right. Going to take a shot down the field, and that pass is caught at the sticks by Rue. James Rue
got a foot in,
might
so
be a little short. He is 2 yards short,
couple
46
yards,
of Westfield.
Yeah. Here we go. Got out of bounds.
Yes, he did. So now
Now
it's
this is your ball game here.
pretty much, if Hillsborough's going to have any chance of staying alive, they need to make this 4th and 2. Let's see how they line up. They got a triple to left. Riling. For a moment I thought Westfield jumped, but nobody was set. That's why no flag. Riling will take the snap. And they give to Jankowicz. He'll have the first down, slipping out of a tackle, but not by much. Oh, it's Schwartz, I beg your
Schwartz,
pardon.
you got that one, yeah.
Looked like a 3, but it was a 2. Schwartz able to get the first down, move the chains, and keep Hillsborough's
Get on
drive
the line and
alive.
let's go.
He got 3, needed 2. All right, so 1st and 10. They go spread here. Riling takes a snap. Looking. Oh,
Got him
that
right
pass
there.
was a little
Oh,
bit high
boy.
incomplete. I wonder if it was tipped because I looked like it was slow on the ball. Daniel Allen, the intended receiver.
Well, Tommy saw him late on it, and then he kind of overthrew him. But yeah, he was sitting there in the flat, wide open, because they're giving him space. Yeah, Westfield just wants the clock to run. They don't mind catches underneath.
Well, right now, 5:13 remaining, and Hillsborough really up
Okay.
against it here.
Look how deep the DBs are. They'll give anything out front they want. But you got to take what you can get.
Incidentally, medical personnel on the opposite side of the field here.
Yeah.
That's in case if you're wondering. 2nd and 10 from the 23. I'm sorry, from the 43-yard line. Let's see what Riling can do. Back the pass, rush coming, looking, Riling in trouble, and
Well, he did try to throw it.
well, his arm going forward. No, it was fumbled and recovered by Westfield.
Ball.
And a strip sack and recovery for Lincoln Myers, the junior.
Wow.
Boy, that is huge for Westfield. And that
is.
might just pretty much seal the deal.
On the big line.
So Hillsborough,
does.
I mean, and listen, Westfield playing a heck of a game, and there's a reason why they're up 17-0.
Eric,
Once Westfield made Hillsborough one-dimensional, that was kind of it. There's no doubt about it. Because Hillsborough's not built to throw. It's not how they're built.
And
But
like
the-
I
but
said,
they forced them to do that when they shut the running game down.
and like I said, remember last week, Riling only threw 9 passes the entire game.
yeah, it's
And there were
exactly-
only 3 runs on the opposite side.
It's actually the
Talk
point.
about polar opposites there as we see the handoff going to about the 47 for Spade.
Well, they're polar opposites because they had to be. There was no choice.
So it turns out Westfield has matched up extremely well with Hillsborough, and boy, they thrown a curveball today.
Yeah. If Hillsborough might have been a little bit more diverse early, it might have been a little different story. But listen, you go with what you got. You go with the game plan. That's what you do. And that had to change, of course, at halftime.
So 2nd and 8 from the 47-yard line. Wouldn't be surprised if Cho probably goes to the run, or he might take it himself. And right now, Cho's just watching for the arm to go.
Yep.
And there's the handoff, and again, Spade only getting about a yard. Remember, Spade in for Caramagna, who was hurt earlier in the half. Hopefully, he'll be all right, like we had mentioned.
Exactly.
So looks like 3rd and 7 from the 47-yard line, as the clock runs under 4 minutes.
Run from here. Take as much time out. Take it all the way down. Wait till the referee starts chopping and snap the ball.
And that's exactly what Cho is looking at.
thank you.
Remember, Cho has 2 touchdown passes, and they are both to Enzo Ferraro, who came into this game with 5 touchdown receptions. You can make 2 more on that. And Joe came very close to throwing his second interception beginning of second half. And now here's a blitz. Pass is caught.
But another safe throw.
Another one down to about the 45-yard line.
Let him go. None of these
Oh, they're saying
Did that ball go
incomplete.
I didn't see that. Yep.
I'm actually a little surprised because,
Let's
I
see
mean,
where
it
they
stops the
spotted it.
clock, so it's a free timeout.
Where are they spotting it?
So they're going to go back to the
Oh, okay.
47-yard line, and that is where Westfield will punt.
Same play they ran on 3rd down last time. Safe throw over the middle.
Eric, the other side.
I'm actually
Eric,
surprised
the
they
other
went with the
side.
pass
I am
because
too. Yeah,
you want to run the clock at this
I
juncture.
agree with you.
So Hillsborough literally got a free timeout there.
They did.
All right, so Westfield will punt. It looks like James Rue might be the one looking to return. Good snap. Oh, Van Cleef, I beg your pardon. It's going to roll and gets out of bounds.
Sweet.
He got inside the 20-yard line.
Sure did. Nice punt again.
About the 14-yard line, and that's where Hillsborough is going to start.
Hey, talk about the special teams for Westfield today, huh?
Well, they've done a great job, but
Jim,
also
that's
Westfield
Westfield's
has
ball.
definitely won the special teams battle.
question.
But let's also not forget Hillsborough has had their own special team mistakes.
Like
You
I
go
said,
back to
it's,
the third quarter with the punt snap going right through, Powell's hands.
That snap through the hands it changed the entire second half. They go in, it's 14-0. Everything changed. Let's not forget the 35-yard extra point early on and the field goal. What
All
a
right.
weapon. Special teams weapons.
Rattling on 1st and 10, back the pass. Now he's being rushed. He's going to
Offside.
have
He
to
didn't get it.
lob it,
Yeah.
and it's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, he was looking for the screen to the back out of the backfield. It just wasn't there.
And he was throwing the direction of a lineman, Garrett Meyer. But they ruled it incomplete.
Yeah, he had to throw it away once the screen was blown up.
So that forces 2nd and 10. And and I'll put it to you this way, Hillsborough is going to be a playoff team, but they're not going to advance far if they do not work on the things that have plagued them in this game.
See, Tom, this is called a wake-up call. That's what this is.
2nd and 10, riling back the pass, looking. He's in trouble. He slips out of a tackle, slips out of another one, and again
Yep.
throws it incomplete. He threw it in the direction of Schwartz and ends up going incomplete. So 2 times he's had to throw the ball out of bounds because of the heavy rush by Westfield's defense.
Listen, if you're one of the defensive linemen for Hillsborough at this point, man, you love this time of game. Because, man, you just rushed the QB. You got nothing else to worry about at that point.
And that's exactly what Westfield is doing to Rowling.
Exactly.
And all that hassle, I mean, we got 3-4 sacks in this half alone. And, of course, one of the key players in this game, Zach Ragg, who's caused havoc. They're going to try a handoff on 3rd down. That didn't work. Schwartz
They just
with the carry.
They don't want to get Riling beat up again. Why not? Save him for another day.
Yeah, probably save him for the
Hey.
next game.
Tom, listen. 14-13, 15-7, 19-13, 14-7. It's hard to teach kids off of wins. It's much easier to teach off of a loss. So here you are. This is the wake-up call that these kids will need.
Well, sometimes you might just need that, and Shane Powell is going to be back to punt, standing very close to his goal line. Gets the snap, and a low-line drive that's going to be
That's a nice
over the
punt.
returner's head. This is going to turn out to be a pretty good punt.
Sweet.
Goes out of bounds at about the, looks like the 34-yard line. That is quite a punt.
Can you do that calculation there, Tom?
It's a 52-yard punt.
Atta boy. Did you steal that 52-yard punt from somebody else?
No, I'm
You didn't hear the PA guy say 52-yard punt, did you?
Well, yeah. Hey,
gotcha.
listen, you have to remember.
Gotcha, baby.
In my SAT, I got 710 if it was math out of the 1020 I
Wow.
got. So
All right.
sometimes you got to catch those things.
Yeah, listen. If you're the Hillsborough coaches, you can only say so many times, listen, we didn't play well, but we were lucky. You're not going to say that this time.
Definitely
So
not.
here we go. This week's practice should be very interesting.
Well, we'll see where they are next week or their first playoff game. We'll have to let you know, or of course, check the Hillsborough website to find out the details. Here's a handoff,
Yeah, little backup,
bouncing around about the
little backup
36-yard
QB
line.
in there. Nate Drab in the game? No, excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh, that was still Cho. My fault.
Yeah, Cho's going to finish
Yeah,
this
I guess
out.
he is. Yeah.
So a gain of 2 to make it 2nd and 8. But for those people watching in Westfield, you've got to be really, really proud of this team. Definitely their best effort of the year against a heck of a team in Hillsborough. And hey, sometimes it's your day and other times it's not. We saw it on both sides of the story this evening.
Well, listen. When you see Westfield going back and forth on their games, you could tell that some days you have it and some days you don't. And that their schedule and their 3 and 4, which is going to be 4 and 4 now, that record shows some days it is and some days it isn't.
And the second effort on that carry will basically finish things off as he gets there for a first down. Now, as for Hillsborough, even though they'll fall to a 6 and 2 on the year, they're going to probably finish either 3, 4, or 5 in ranking for the playoffs. Now, there's no guarantee they're going to have a home game, so the best thing you can do, just check with Hillsborough, the athletic sites, and all that stuff. And if it is a home game, we'll be here.
Okay, he's taking a knee,
But
bringing it in,
just
guys.
remember,
Taking a
date
knee.
and time to be
Wait
determined.
for him to go up.
It will be next
Guys,
week,
he's
the
not- he's
27th.
taking a knee, guys. Keep it
So
clean.
victory formation now as Westfield. They deserve this victory.
there,
Lock,
right
stock,
there.
and barrel. There it is, the knee. And now I have to run another
That's it,
play.
you don't
This one
snap.
is over.
You don't have to snap.
So,
Nope,
Ray, your final
They
thoughts.
don't need snapping. No,
Well,
they don't
listen,
need-
the
they
the
don't
game
need
kind of
snap.
speaks for itself. They let Westfield hang around in the first half. They had a really good drive to end the first half, and then of course the fumbled punt gives them a short field, and they go in and kind of it rolled downhill for Westfield and uphill for Hillsborough from there.
Definitely did. And kudos to Westfield for a heck of a game as they improved to 4 and 4 on the year. So that's it for now. Your final today, the Westfield Blue Devils 17, the Hillsborough Raiders nothing.